Alright, this was a build-around submission for Kambal Council of Allocation here. Kind of a black-white taxes aggressive disruptive deck here for Brawl. So 2-3 for 3. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, they lose 2 and you gain 2. So I've got, there aren't a ton of them on this platform, but we've got all of the various like taxes style effects like Tithe Taker and Thalia and Elite Spellbinder and Archon and things like that. I've also got a very tightly packed curve here. We've got a ton of 2-power 1-drops and other 1-drops like Knight of the Ebon Legion and Forsworn Paladin that let us spend our mana as we go longer. And then we're just trying to curve out with a couple of interact things. Yeah, it's kind of like Dead Guy Ale, the Brawl deck in a way. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see if this is proactive enough and interactive enough to keep up with what's going on. A Smothering Tithe too slow. Yeah, we also just like aren't really doing anything with mana from an effect like that, right? Smothering Tithe's good in normal EDH because you have like multiple people that need to pay for it or you get value out of it. And that's just not how this format works. Oh, also, Silverquill Silencer seems like gas in this format, huh? You just get to name their commander. I have to imagine this matchup's not good. They're a life gain aggro deck. So, not going to offer this trade with them potentially playing this next turn. And then on our follow-up here, we'll be able to drop a Johnny and start putting counters on these Dorkos to apply pressure. While Knight of Malice, remember, isn't protection from white, it's just hexproof from white. So not too terribly scary, I don't think.
Capable of more than you assume.
I think I'm okay trading these two for this, because the Johnny can pick the Silverquill Silencer back up. Otherwise, we get to pick them for 7 here. Well, you know, put more lands in your aggro decks, chap. Put more lands in all your Brawl decks. All your decks in general. Generally speaking, adding lands is the #1 thing I do to decks people submit me, but Brawl seems to encourage people to play even fewer than normal. That's fine, right? We have 3 lands. Thanks for the follow, GL Jamora. With 1 free mulligan, you can play 7 less lands than normal because you see that many extra cards. Sure, Jan. Whatever you say. going on, Grimmelsden? Thanks for repping the Prime. Welcome back. Good morning, good morning. What do you recommend in a tattoo overlays? Most decks should be playing 41 plus. Including your flip lands. Like 41's like the floor, I think. Even a deck that's low curve like this, you want to get close to 40. I think maybe my opponent's deck death touched their internet connection. Oh, and they're back. Hold for a moment, please. I am warm in my basement and turning my thermostat down. Please make it colder, house. Thank you. Dear house, one cold weather, please. Ravenous Monument. It's not what I've seen. It's kind of sweet. I get my scry on. I like to try and find a land. Yeah, 38's definitely low in this format. I think you need more mana in this format than you have in normal EDH because you don't have nearly as many cheap mana rocks here, and stumbling is more detrimental because you'll only have one person attacking you. It's not like in a multiplayer EDH game where, like, if you stumble, people could be attacking other people that aren't currently behind. Well, I guess we'll just try and attack with this and see if they'll just flip this over. They do. We'll take it. Hey, what's going on, Juggalos? Hope your traveling was safe and you're enjoying your Thursday. Thanks for the 31 months. I get to make a treasure token here. You just play Lilith? I think that's the play. We'll make a treasure token to drop the Planeswalker. Maricopa County. The United States. That's Arizona? I didn't realize metrics were looking bad there. They're not, Texas. Scottsdale. Or are you just talking about the weather being hot, I suppose? It's Texas West. Okay, so you're more than just the weather then. Yeah, Sajiri is a Nakar. So this is a Nakar card. Oh, it's a place where old people from the Midwest go to retire. That's why Florida tends to be crappy.
Are you enraptured? But I will get what I want.
Nah, if something doesn't make, like, international news, I'm usually not following Canada all the good nuts. Recently moved to Nebraska, and we had Garth Brooks play a show for 90,000 people this weekend. Yesterday, he canceled the rest of his tour to help do his part to stop the spikes. Well, better late than never, I guess. I guess. Feels like we're pretty set at this point. We've got the...
Go on, run. But we will catch you.
We will catch you. Plowing their commander at sorcery speed here is probably wrong, actually. Because they can just recast it next turn, right? Probably wait till they get to combat, so when they hit me, they don't put counters on me. I guess we're just chilling. Maybe I should attack this one into this to pressure them a little bit, but this way if they don't have a pump spell or a creature, this can't attack through these. Yeah, I had a few people ask me if I was going to, like, make plans for paper Magic tournaments. And based on what everything looks like right now, I was just like, nope, not even a little. If we could find a land here, I think we Conquer's Death the Monument. We did not. I'm gonna put this on Kambal and start pressuring here a little bit. They're down to 16. And I imagine they have a number of non-creature spells to protect their stuff here. As seen on Twitter yesterday, the only flying I plan on doing is off the fucking hook. Oh man, is that relatable? I'm just confused that we're still dealing with COVID at all, because I thought it was all a Democrat hoax designed to make Donald Trump look bad that would be gone by November. I for one, can't believe that the conservative mouthpieces lied to me. I think we're just supposed to... What are the odds they have a flash creature? Let's double block. Even if they do, this will give me more spiders for her.
generous.
Alright, so we can make some more friends here. We've got Cast Out rolled up. Slowly chipping away at them. Well, so to be fair, it's probably not an unreasonable statement based on how coronaviruses mutate and react and transmit to say that the viruses transmit less frequently during the warm months, which really all that should tell you is how incredibly fucked we're about to be as fall gets here. That's all you should really know. If we're at this point and it's still summer, it ain't gonna be a good looking fall and winter. Alabama announced they were the first state to hit full ICU capacity across the state in the United States with this third surge. There are 4 other states that had broken 90% ICU bed occupation. Yeah. There's a very real chance that they have to ration care in several parts of the United States. And that's one of the big things that other people don't get to, is when people talk about their, like, you know, that my body, my choice bullshit, like they don't want to get the vaccine because it's their choice. Their choice kills other people, because when ICU beds fill up with COVID patients, not only do they not even have space to treat all the COVID patients, but you know, what happens if you get in a car accident, right? Like, people who aren't vaccinated that then fill up hospitals because they have COVID are going to cause other people to die because they can't get care for other emergencies. Yes, and that's even before you consider immunocompromised people and children who aren't currently eligible for the vaccine. I just feel a little dirty when I cast Dark Ritual. I almost didn't put it in the deck because I feel a little bit bad when I do this. Yeah, exactly that, Jareth. Alright, so am I okay trading Glint-Sleeve Siphoner for Speaker of the Heavens? Probably, honestly, based on the fact that, like, they need white devotion for this, so I think I open by attacking with everything. And if they don't trade... Yeah. Redain probably does tempo them off untapped lands. That's a good call. Yeah, let's start with her. Yeah, I can't imagine, Jerry. Alright, so we just get to keep on chipping in here, right? This will get another counter on Ebon Legion. Like I said, we won this matchup earlier, but they also stumbled. I would bet this is tough for us. We're gonna have a little bit of pressure next turn after Heliod comes down, but once the Heliod gets online, they're gonna take over the board state very quickly. Yeah, even just the Hallowed Priest being massive here, right? I guess I could attack it with the Knight of the Ebon Legion, but at this point they're just gaining so much life when everything comes into play. Like they play Helion next turn and we're just locked out, right? Yeah. I think we got pretty fortunate doing that one earlier. Yeah, and they're missing land drops, so we know they have a bunch of spells in hand. But honestly, I think their hand could be all lands, and we still lose that from there. Do federal insurance laws prevent insurance companies from charging more for people who refuse to get vaccinated? It's strange to me that that doesn't fall under the same category as charging people more who choose to smoke. Or like, you know, people who like ride motorcycles have higher life insurance premiums, right? You choose to engage in dangerous activity. I'm mulliganing looking for 1s and 2s. Yeah, this is great. What are they playing? They're playing Magda. Bottom the Elite Spellbinder. It's insane that during the dip, there was no effort put into expanding ICU capacity. Well, you know, the idea was that people would get vaccinated and we wouldn't need expanded capacity at that point. Oh, how stupid we were. Yes, also that. A lot of hospitals are trying to operate and make a profit margin. Haru Schiffer, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel today. If you're new like Haru, we play Magic here 5 or 6 days a week. We'll see some variety games the afternoon. We played a lot of Pokemon Unite recently. And as you probably venture to guess from the idle conversation with me and chat here, we've played Magic for the last 20 minutes. We didn't really shy away from topics other streams tend to shy away from. In my opinion, things considered political are very important and they're worth discussing on occasion. Won't ever be 100% of what we do around here, but I think they're worth talking about when important topics come up, like encouraging people to get vaccinated because it saves lives. Dire Tactics seems really sweet with a human commander, just like extra swords to Plowshares, basically. Might murder the Magda here. Where they can start making more treasures. Medical topics are political, caring about other people are political, you know. It's almost like one of the political factions in the United States is made up of awful, terrible people. One could even say deplorable people, I think. The argument could be made. Is this good enough? I think this is actually fine because we have some of our top end. So there's no 2-drop in this hand, but Forsworn Paladin activates to make a treasure on 2, which means we can Chupacabra on 3 in addition to Kambal, or potentially get Vana out a little bit sooner as well. Occasionally, Fox News clips come across my Twitter timeline, and there was one, I think it was Hannity. It was Hannity or fucker Carlson, who was like, science has been replaced by experts. It was just like, what, like, I know that words don't really have meaning to people on the right, but like, that one hurt me a little bit. It was like, excuse me? Galta, eh? Man, that's a very rampy start from the opponent. Our pitiful little make a treasure on turn 2 plan here is not looking particularly good against Landwar Elf Circle of Dreams. I take a $50 request to play the Bant Friends deck from yesterday again today. No, I'm gonna say no on that. I don't really like playing the same deck 2 days in a row, and the Bant Friends deck was kind of rough yesterday. I like to try and keep decks to once a week if possible. Unless they had an exceptionally good set. Alright, well, we get to kill that one. Chupacabra is hungry, chat. Gobble gobble. Are they out of dorks that have lots of power? That would be good for us. The Chupacabra killed the dinosaurs, yeah, exactly. See, you get it. Yeah, mRNA vaccine technology is really incredible. And that's one of the things too, like there's a lot of vaccine hesitancy from people that weren't very informed that were like, well, I don't want to take an mRNA vaccine because they're new. People have been studying mRNA vaccines for a very long time. The COVID vaccine was the first widespread implementation of one, but they've been working on things like that for a while now. We just murder that, and then I think I want to leave Kambal back to keep my health total high. I don't want to trade 2 points on them for 3 points on me here. Wow, Chariot is really good with Galta, huh? Because now you get to crew it and it gives you 8 power. Didn't even need to crew it. I believe we have died, chat. I would believe that there were other implementations of mRNA vaccines previously, but I'm not familiar with any, which means they can't be too terribly widespread. Maybe inside of the medical community and people that are in the known, but like a layman like myself. I think that's good. And I'm a little bit more plugged into a lot of those topics than most on average, so if I haven't heard of it, it's probably not particularly widespread. Alright, so they are playing Golos, and they are on the play. So we'll concede. Listen, chat, I'm not going to do something silly like waste the time of people that are queuing with decks like Golos, but if you're queuing with Golos, you can go be with your sweaty friends. You can go play with Omnath and Winota Golos. Johnny, that's more Kambal speed. Take our free mulligan. Yeah, this is fine. Mana's a little bit painful, but we've got a decent curve here. Alright, what else does this Dorko do again? Vigilance, gain 3, put a 1/1 counter on everything. It's pretty good. Hey, epically narky, thanks for the Prime Sport. There's a ton of great people you can send that to every month here on Twitch. Thanks for sending it this way this month. Am I okay with this trade? I think I am. Their deck is obviously a go-wide deck. I've liked the Marvel game Thalia. Played it for a couple hours off stream too. Seems like it's a decent hero collector / team building game. Has lots of different facets to grind and play with. Opponent's playing all snow-covered lands again, so he could redeem here. Also keeps him off their commander for a little bit, which is nice. Apparently, Beansy gave me control of the Alliance after I joined it, and I didn't get a chance to load the game or play it yesterday, so I probably need to take a peek and approve requests. Puts a counter on all the stuff, right? It says Vigilance, I'll start by attacking with everything here. I think I'm okay with paying 3 to kill their Usher here. Mikaeus plus Incubation Dread could be a punish for not eating Mikaeus last turn. Catch you later, Cody. Yeah, maybe I should attacking with this was wrong and I should have just eaten the Mikaeus. Yeah, I can't even attack with this now. Removal spell sounds great. So this costs 6, but Incubation Druid makes 3.
I will teach you humility. You were not destined to fight.
Oh god. Yeah, that one was definitely on me. I should have held back I should have just traded the 1-drop or not attacked with it and then killed the Mikaeus. I undervalued how valuable the pump was going to be. Incubation Druid was especially punishing. Well, if you look back at my history playing Magic, if you're not familiar with me epically, part of the reason why I came to some amount of notoriety and was able to transition into streaming was because even when I was traveling to play Magic competitively a lot, I basically never played stock tier 1 decks. My time spent traveling around the country to play Magic was largely playing bad decks. Magic, in my opinion, has never really been a fan. I think I'm going to take Hobgoblin and then Agonizing Remorse with the Torbrand later. Magic's never really been a fantastic, like, spiky game. And that's part of the reason why so many of the tryhards that you see that focus on it from the competitive aspect end up being so salty. Magic's a game with an incredible amount of variance, and the thing it does better than most other games in this genre is deck building variety. I mean, I have over a dozen top 8s of tournaments with no wins, not because of the types of decks I play, but just because I was never fortunate at the end of the day. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't read the State of the Design article. I tend to try and avoid things like the State of the Design article because there's nothing in an article like that even if it's genuine and real, I can have a meaningful impact on. And if there's something in it that's going to piss me off, there's no reason for me to, like, put myself in a position to be upset for reading it. Well, it's not even really useful, right? So, Kranko's about to smack us for a bunch. Oh gosh, yeah, now they get to... Huh? I can't block now. People liked 99% of it, but most of the things people liked were overshadowed by Eldraine. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I also, and again, this comes back down to, like, my pretty typical criticism of Wizards, is that I have a little bit different approach to things like that because I think the whole stock market aspect of Magic is bullshit. And there's a lot of people that they don't think Wizards should use their ban lists because it destabilizes people that want to use Magic as a stock market and it makes people feel bad about their investments. But in my opinion, I actually think it's a good thing when they miss the mark, because if they're not missing the mark on occasion with their designs, they're not really trying, right? Like, if all the designs are just super safe, nothing bad ever is going to happen from the designs, like, they're probably going to be pretty boring. The problem isn't that they missed the mark or, like, Eldraine was whack on power level. It's like, there's a couple of ways they could have approached fixing Eldraine being weird on power level. The first is really easy in that they could just have rotations happen faster. The other is they could just ban more aggressively. I don't think... There's a lot of people that act like it's a failure when a Magic card gets banned. And I couldn't disagree with that more. I think banning cards on occasion means that Wizards is actually trying to push the envelope of what things are. So we don't... I guess they get to cast the Nissa next turn regardless. They just don't care about this. Alright, thanks for taking a bunch of damage. Hey, thanks to whoever checked out the Marvel promo. Appreciate you taking some time out of your day to support my content with that. Getting close-ish to the 175 goal. If we hit that by Friday night, I'm going to add a weekend stream this weekend on Saturday. We're going to play a bunch of Magic and a little bit of Unite on Saturday if we hit that goal. I'm just attacking them. If they want to play Nissa and trade their Nissa activation for Liliana, that's fine. She already got a 1-for-1, and then Conqueror's Death will deal with their Nissa. And Nissa's going to deal some damage to them when... Yeah, actually, pretty good spot there. I don't know. I think singling out... I think people that single out Oko as a card that should have obviously been too good really don't understand game design. I think that that's an easy red herring for me to be like, nah, you just don't really get it. Oko, from a design perspective, is an incredible success. It is a very interesting card that offers the person playing with it a lot of decisions. And Oko is a card where you change a couple of numbers on it and you leave all the text the same. You leave all the abilities and mechanics on that card the same. And it's a fine card that makes sweet, interesting gameplay. Its numbers were just too big. Now, comparison. Teferi Time Raveler is a shit-tastic design. And even when you change numbers on it, it's still a shit-tastic design that creates pretty toxic, uninteresting play patterns. So that's a good comparison in my opinion. Like, I don't think you should look at Oko and be like, Oko is a failure. Oko was, okay, we messed up on the numbers, but the design's actually very good. In a world where Magic's not a boomer card game and you could power level adjust things, Oko would have been adjusted 2 weeks after it was printed and it would have been a fine, sweet card. It is what it is. Yes, Oko is a very, very subtle miss. Big agree. No, Teferi Time Raveler is the War of the Spark one that makes your opponent not play at instant speed. Locks them to sorcery speed. The 4-mana one from M21 I actually think is an incredible design. I think it's a really sweet use of Planeswalker static text, and the actual mechanics on the card are also sweet. Teferi Time Raveler existing gives me pause and go, okay, the people who are playtesting your cards, what you need to reassess what they think is fun, that one made it through. Yeah, and there's a lot of people who, after War of the Spark, were super reductionist and were like, well, Planeswalker static text was a huge mistake. We shouldn't have Planeswalkers with static text. And I think that they've really shown in the most recent designs that, like, Planeswalker static text is such a sweet tool for things. There's so many sweet designs that wouldn't be able to exist without static text. Like, you can't let a couple of Narsets and Teferi Time Ravelers that were awful. Like, they weren't awful because of the static text, they were awful because they were prison cards. So we can play this tapped, play Woestrider, and then we can follow up with Lilith. And maybe Lilith generating cards for us every turn can drag us back into this game. This deck felt a little bit better than the last one, but it's also felt like it struggled to really get under what our opponents are doing. Nissa Who Shakes the World was a stain? Maybe. I don't know. Based on how good or lack thereof Nissa Who Shakes the World is in current historic, I'm kind of inclined to think that Nissa being overbearing in standard was perhaps more a symptom of things like like everything else going on in those formats. You know, there was a Boreal Grazer, and then there was Uro. Maybe a lot of Hydroid Crisis. Yeah, a lot of the hate surrounding her feels like a byproduct of her environment rather than her card design necessarily being bad. And that was another card that people like weren't sure was going to be good when it first released. Like I remember watching Ali Andrazi. I was watching Ali Andrazi stream with that card shortly after War released. I was like, oh, huh, no one was talking about this card, and he was crushing people with it. It was one of those ones that people kind of glossed over during spoiler season.
I will show you what happens when the spider squash. I will cull the weak.
How badly do I get punished if I crunch them here? Probably pretty badly. Attack with these. I want to leave the yeah, let's just chill. We're gonna try and win this by grinding out with Spider Queen. So 27 months, Quintivus. I appreciate that. Welcome back, Mr. One. Thanks for sticking around for 2 years. Good morning, good morning. We've been jamming this one for about 45 minutes. It's going all right. We'll probably hang out for another half hour or so while we mosey along. I haven't decided if I want to do standard 22 or historic after we're done with this one. So we might have time to do both. It's not even only 20 to 10. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why Nissa isn't popular in historic right now. Sweepers are part of it, but also like counter magic's pretty prevalent. Like the control deck being the best archetype in the format doesn't do her any favors. Well, that's rude. Wants to fight? It's been 20 years. March 2020 certainly felt like it. Wait, what the? Oh, I was like, why can't I sacrifice to Woe Strider? Yasharn is why I can't sacrifice to Woe Strider. Got it. I was like, Arena, what you doing? Thought Arena was drunk. Turns out I was. Hey, thanks for the 13 months, Shiny. Welcome back. Need to build a Kolga deck at some point. Seems like a sweet ramp payoff. Might be worse than some of the other options, though. Man. Thoughtseize is such a terrible card, because I Thoughtseize my opponent, and all hope of being able to win the game leaves me. Good lord, we could never beat this card. I'm not sure we can beat any of the cards in their hand, but we definitely can't beat that one, so... let's take that one away and pass the turn here. Another creature enters the battlefield. Excuse me? Man, chat, can you believe how badly all these Eldraine cards missed the mark by? Thorn Mammoth just showing up and eating my board. Can we ever beat the... I mean, maybe we can... I'm going to take 2 shots at a removal spell here. We got a draw step, and then Lilith gets to draw. Okay. All right, we play on.
Time to focus. I have a job to do. That was an easy job.
All right. So you're saying there's a chance. Take a chance on me. Do-do-do-do-do. Be-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Chupacabra! Chat. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, lizard on a chair. Chupacabra is hungry, I swear. Be-do. We played Feather and Brawl yet. We've not, but it is in my deck editor and something we're going to get to. I imported like almost 20 Brawl decks at one point, and I could only play like, 1 to 3 of them a day. So we're working our way through. And as always, you can check out the YouTube channel here. There's a playlist up there. Yeah, it turns out drawing 2 cards a turn is good. Who knew? No, I will always play exactly what you want. You just gotta provide the funds for it. Very, very happy to play exactly what you want all the time. Well, you know what? Maybe I should have put Kaya on the Chupacabra to start. This making flying tokens has a lot of appeal, though. Seeing how this game's played out, it kind of makes me want to build a mid-range black-white deck. I built this deck trying to be aggressive to leverage Kambal's tech, straining them a little bit, but these mid-range black-white planeswalkers, like maybe we build like a Kaya the Inexorable control deck. Kind of sounds like yes. Alright, well this seems good for us.
Paid enough for this.
Whenever an opponent is dealt combat damage by 1 or more creatures, the player lost less than 8 life this turn, they lose life equal to the difference.
My venom circulates quite fast.
Yes, the 1/1 flyers now attack for 8. Kind of sweet. I'm really looking forward to playing black mid-range decks with this card in standard after rotation. I played what could be defined as an unhealthy amount of Obnixilis when it was standard legal, and this has big Obnixilis vibes. Gonna hold on to the Heartless Act. I don't have anything scary. There's spirits killing them in the air here.
Don't worry, I got it.
My words are for ambitious minds.
I'm looking forward to zombies in standard and historic. If champion of the parish is just hopefully the tip of the iceberg. Hopefully. Unless the Fall Innistrad set goes full Eldraine, we should have a pretty sweet low-powered format. The range of cards that are playable in the best of 1 standard 22Q right now is pretty wide. So hopefully they keep that trend as we head into the fall. Yes, yeah, I agree. Someone said that Lawless -8 was kind of underwhelming, but like you don't play her for that effect, right? Like she's the top 2 ability. It's actually the first time I've used that effect on her, and it did close the game out. Like our opponent would have had a lot more time that game if I had been doing something else there. Samut. I'm gonna take a mulligan. You got a lot of expensive top ends here. Only have 2 lands. Punished. So, Eldraine didn't happen by mistake. People like playing in high-powered formats. Yeah, we're just super dead. Slow curve here. So, yes. They ratcheted up the power level on Eldraine Standard because people wanted it. There's, you know, plenty of people with tinfoil hats. I'll tell you it was a conspiracy to sell packs and all that, but players definitely pushed for higher power levels. What happened from a design perspective was not unasked for. Oh, this hand's awkward. If I want a Hagra Mauling on one, I can't this one too, so I guess we do this. And then if we don't draw another land, we could go 2-drop into tapped land, second 2-drop. There's a quote from Morrow at some point that's very true, and I definitely agree with, where he talked about how players are very good at telling you and describing why they don't like things on average. They tend to be rancid at coming up with solutions to the things they don't like, though. So a lot of people thought they wanted higher power level formats, and it turned out that was a bad request. Baby girl. I thought I heard a baby girl. Hi. Are you having a good day today? You see a spoon on my desk? Oh, you want to grab the mouse? Oh, we hit an untapped land. Oh, mommy needed to get a fresh pack of wipes. Alright, so I think we double spell this turn. Probably Kambal plus Paladin. We'll ship in for 5 first. Nope, you're a wiggly girl. You do not sit still for very long, chat. Yeah.
Can you say hi to chat? Say hi.
Hi, good job, baby girl. You just want to play Pass the Baby? Pass the Baby! It could be right this turn to go tap Tagra just Kambal in case they kill this. I guess it's indestructible, so I have to have an exile to kill this, so it's pretty likely to live. Well? Wait, what just happened? Was there something? Oh! Oh, shoot. I always forget this turns off abilities, too. That's a little rough. was like, what happened? Why couldn't I pay 4? Alright, so I think we want to just keep the pressure on. And I'm going to play out the Luris here, even though I can't return anything with it. Oh, I lied. I have a Paladin there. JK, LOL. JK, LOL. You got an LOL for me? Thanks for the follow, coffee mug. This is Haley for you to the stream like coffee mug. She's our 14-month-old, our youngest. She's kind of cute. I like her.
Yeah.
Alright, Kaya puts them down to 11. We've got a decent amount of power in play here. Decent amount of power, baby girl. Alright, so this costs 3 mana to pump with. I think that's still just the play this turn.
Yay!
It's a shame we don't have a 6 land, so we can't do this too, but I think we ship this here.
Did Daddy make a good play?
Chat never applauds when I make plays.
Their baby wants to see Big Haley. Make Haley big so they can laugh at each other. Oh my god, that's the other baby can laugh at Haley.
You funny. That big Haley, yeah, on the screen. I think we're supposed to hold the cast out here for the next time their Kaya comes down. I'm gonna cycle it, actually. Their Kaya's not coming down for a little bit. We could hit a land drop there. Alright,
Would you like to be done juggling a baby?
You get to living.
Say bye-bye to chat. Say bye-bye, chat.
Bye-bye.
Can you give Daddy cuddles?
How many cards we got in our bin? Only 3? Yikes. Exiled that one. So, Waker of the Dead is number of cards in our graveyard. This can still hit in at least. I think we just do this. They missed their land drop for the turn, so they're not getting back to this next turn. This makes some chump blockers. This will let us draw an extra card next turn, so we get 2 shots at untapped land to be able to Noxious Gearhulk. Bring back the cute or chat rights. Listen, chat. The camera's supposed to be largely ugly old man, okay? Come on, I've got a brand to maintain. Five life's a lot.
Do what I demand.
Okay.
Witherbloom is just as dark and musty.
Okay. This, come on. Come on, hit me, dealer. Untapped land. One time. Nailed it. Alright, now we're in a pretty good spot. We get to kill the Lyra. Then we get to kill the Professor.
Fine. I'm taking the day off.
Catch you later, JRC. Even if they, like, have another sweeper here, Lolith gets a bunch of counters and can put some more power into play. Yeah, Gearhulk was a beast when it was in Standard.
If I were...
Card was sweet.
Love a good death wail.
And my will cannot be denied. I will cull the weak.
Definitely gotta kill that one, even though they're at 10.
Ugh. Well, this was unpleasant.
I guess I can Kambal... I guess I can Liliana and Spellbinder. And for sequencing here, I think we're supposed to Liliana first, because I don't want them to know I'm going to take the best card out of their hand when I +1 here.
And yours.
So they'll make their discard decision for Liliana not knowing this is coming.
For your loss.
Hey, thanks for the Prime Good. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. Alright, well, we'll get rid of that one, because hopefully the game's going to be over before they get to 10. You logged into Discord after subbing for a year for the first time. What should you check out first? I would 10 out of 10 recommend just like skimming all of the channels there and muting the ones that are topics that are not of interest to you. It's a pretty big server that's pretty active.
About zombies.
And I would not be surprised if you can't keep up with absolutely everything that goes on there. Figuring out which ones you care about is, yeah, there's a lot there. Like, I personally, for example, I have probably about 30 or 40% of it unmuted. And the ones that are muted, I like dip into on occasion to make sure people are behaving. But for the most part, we have a pretty good community. I very rarely have to boot people out of there. The tolerance for things we have inside of Twitch chat means that the types of people that find themselves subscribing and ending up there tend to be reasonable on average. We behave ourselves in the Weeb channel. The Weeb channel is not one I frequent too often. Yeah, it's a pretty solid one. Arcbow Ranger. And green stompies, I imagine. Man, chat! How does my opponent always have Land War Elves on 1 in flipping EDH? Like, it's bad enough that they always have it on 1 when we're playing Historic. But there's them in 100 cards, chat. It just ain't right, okay? It just ain't right. They just concede until they have it. Yikes.
Nature's ingenuity.
We will adapt to any threat.
Man, they were even smart and gave this reach. So my maul's not useful. I think I'm still just supposed to maul here, but feels bad, man.
I'd like you to meet my friend, Stompy.
Hey, thanks to whoever checked out the Marvel promo. Appreciate you taking a couple minutes out of your day to support my content with that. If you're a non-sub that completed that, be sure to drop me a DM, and I'd be happy to gift you a sub for doing that. If you hit that 175 goal by Friday evening, I'll be streaming on Saturday this week as well. Vana's not a terrible pickup.
Beats in unison with the wild.
Two counters. I imagine we're going to see them pump this up so that way it's big enough to block my thing here.
My,
Really?
how
Okay.
you've grown.
Doing a Thanksgiving stream again this year. I have definitely not planned my life out that far in advance. Especially with the kids being back in school and not knowing how that's going to play out. We're just taking it one day at a time. It ain't even Halloween yet, chat. Oh, you're not from America. American Thanksgiving is until the end of November. Forget those pesky other countries exist that do things at different times of year.
Beauty lies in variation.
I mean, to be fair, I'm normally pretty organized and like to do things pretty far out. So COVID has cramped my preferred style for sure by adding a lot of uncertainty to things. We do at least have a mask mandate here in Illinois. I think we're dead at this point. Let's try one more with this build. And I think we'll move on to some standard 22. We have in fact accomplished the bare minimum. One of my kids' teachers sent home a note letting us know my child couldn't bring snacks that contained peanuts with to the classroom, which I can only assume the anti-maskers in town thought amounted to tyranny. Field of the Dead are taking away my child's snack freedoms. Oh, ours actually can have it for lunch proper. They just can't have it inside the actual classroom. That's because that's what Thomas Jefferson would have wanted us to do. Yeah, they must segment off people that have peanut allergies in some way.
When you can walk through walls, anything. That was an easy job.
So I think I'm supposed to play General here, and then Demonic Embrace on this. Let's just kill Kaya next turn. We go like Demonic Embrace plus tapped land, and then we have Kambal the following turn. They're digging for a creature for this. See, Kaya seems a little bit awkward. Like, I kind of want to build, after playing this deck, I kind of want to build a Kaya mid-range deck, but I feel like you need an appropriate number of creatures just to be good, right? Because you want to get value off of... You want to get value off of the +1. I think because I drew an untapped land here, I'm just going to attack this and replay Kambal.
It's getting messy.
This is only dies, so we're going to put it into play tapped. They are going to get to recast Kaya next turn. So, a card for graveyard, make a human. Yep. All right, now I gotta know how many Thomas Jefferson focused memes you have, Cenotaph. Because that's 2 now, and it's it did, Siggy. Thank you. Yeah, it like takes less than 5 minutes. In fact, it's only level 2 that you gotta do to get credit for the thing. Damn, we hit our flying there nicely. Alright, Kambal, to infinity and beyond. Unfortunately, their Field of the Dead probably going to take over this game. They didn't have a bunch of free zombies. We'd be in an okay spot, but they do, so they're closing out our ability to close the game. And that's a flying blocker too. Yeah. I'm not gonna be able to power through that. Yeah, we could dire tactics the Angel, but like the guy is still just coming down, and the Field of the Dead is like stunting all of our damage on the bottom. Yeah, I feel like while this deck didn't have as big of issues as the Esper deck we played before this, I definitely think that the kind of mid-rangey plan that this was looking to execute wasn't quite good enough. I built it with the intention of being aggressive, and we ended up feeling very mid-rangey, and that did not feel good enough. The games that felt the best with this deck were actually the ones where we ended up being more controlling, where we had like Lilith and Kaya, and it kind of makes me think I want to build a little bit bigger black-white deck. Not quite exactly what the last opponent's doing, maybe a little bit more creature-focused, but not have like a lot of these low quality 2-power 1-drops, for example. Like when I built this, I put a lot of lower quality 1-mana cards in here to try and curve out, and we just weren't quite aggressive enough to be able to take people down from 25 like you started in Brawl too consistently.